Sup people, Multiply here, and today the first in what's probably going to be a mini series where I take a bit of advice I've been given a lot of people about kind of music marketing and kind of deconstructing it and kind of explaining why I think what I think. And yeah, this time it's going to be why you should focus on only 2 or 3 social media platforms, which I've broken down into 4 kind of easy to read, easy to comprehend points. And I'm going to kind of explain each one. And before I start, I think it's fair to say that over the last few years, I've kind of demonstrated that my approach does kind of work. It's something I think a lot about. I spend just as much time on the kind of the quote unquote business side of music as I do on creating the content, which is also just as important. So especially if you want to kind of do awesome things, you do have to kind of take the kind of the business, the marketing side seriously. Even if you do spell like a mong, as I can show you here. But yeah, let's get straight into it. Why you should focus on only 2 or 3 social media platforms. First of all, it takes time to manage each one. You don't have forever. Because what I've been reading quite a lot over the years of kind of advice and listening to a lot of advice from kind of people who are kind of claim to tell you the best way to kind of promote yourself. And a lot of them seem to suggest that you should be hitting this large number of social media platforms, but fundamentally you don't have forever. If you want to do each one properly, you have to kind of allocate your time efficiently, and it's going to be a lot better for you in the long run just to focus on a smaller number and spend more time on each of those than it is to spread yourself too thinly, because you don't have forever to kind of do each one properly. So just really focus on a smaller number and make sure you really are giving each one kind of its own proper strategy, and you're putting in enough time, regularly enough, on each one. So yeah, number 2, you need to understand the nuances of each platform. Again, it's something that kind of results if you spread yourself too thinly and you're kind of using every social media thing out there, you're not really going to understand each one. Each kind of platform has its own nuances, its own kind of idiosyncrasies, their own kind of things about it that you need to really understand to use it effectively. Whether that's kind of hashtags in Twitter or kind of Twitter memes or kind of YouTube etiquette or kind of the best way to kind of get the biggest reach on Facebook or even the length of posts on Facebook. All those kind of things need you to kind of live in the world for you to understand. And if you live in kind of 15 different worlds, a lot of which probably aren't that important anyway, you're just not really going to understand any of them in enough detail to exploit them and kind of get the most out of it, really. Which also kind of bit of an extension of this is if you're using, say, SoundCloud or Facebook as your kind of one of your promotional outlets for your music, you got to make sure you are actually using SoundCloud or Facebook in general. Otherwise, you're not going to understand the kind of the subtleties and kind of how to use it, because they've all got their own etiquette and they've all got the best ways of kind of using it to your kind of advantage, really. Yeah. And yeah, number 3, if you only focus on one, then if that one gets mental at you or blows up, then you are kind of FC UK. So yeah, simply, kind of best to explain it is if I use an example. There are a lot of big YouTubers out there which have built massive brands for themselves, basically as a YouTube personality. They've got full incomes from it. And then what happens is one day their account gets compromised for whatever reason, and their account goes away. And that's it, their entire livelihood, all those kind of years of building up a following and kind of an income for themselves, like a full livelihood, are completely gone. Just because they didn't kind of spread themselves over more than one platform. Because fundamentally, if you're building up your kind of business, and you do have to kind of approach it as a business on a platform, on someone else's platform that isn't a public platform, kind of, it's not a full public platform, it's owned by basically a company. You've got to kind of factor in the possibility that either that company just kicks you off for whatever reason, and they do have the right just to kick you off for no reason, or that company stops being relevant. So I mean, there's no point in building up, say, 200,000 followers on Facebook if Facebook's not going to be here in 2 years. Now, Facebook probably will be here in 2 years, but you get my point. You just have to kind of factor that into what you do. But saying that, combining that with one, you would want to make sure you're not spreading yourself too thinly, and that's why I think 2 or 3 is about right. And 4, 2 or 3 is enough for you to hit every potential fan / honey. Honeys are important. Yeah, got to make sure that anyone that might like what you do and that might want to follow what you do is going to be able to be reached by you. So there's no point in only, say, being on SoundCloud, because not everyone uses SoundCloud. There's no point in being only on Twitter, because not everyone uses Twitter. But I found 2 or 3 is kind of enough, since providing you're choosing at least 1 or 2 of those platforms to be one of the big ones, one of the Twitters or Facebooks, everyone is going to be hit one way or another. And that's what you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of in nice 4 points. Have a think about it. Kind of choose the 2 or 3 that you really want to focus on. And it's worth bearing in mind, you can't do social media half-assed. It will just stop. It won't really work for you at all. And then you've wasted the small amount of time that you have put into it. You have to kind of do it properly. You have to kind of build the process of managing it and pushing out content to it into your life, into kind of what you do on a daily basis. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. So in my case, my 3 social media platforms are YouTube, Facebook, and SoundCloud. Although technically I am on Twitter and Instagram, I don't really use them properly, and they're more just kind of there. I really focus exclusively on the kind of Facebook, the YouTube, and now SoundCloud again. So I focused initially on SoundCloud, then I kind of broadened out into Facebook, and then onto YouTube. And then Facebook and YouTube kind of took priority for a while, and now I'm bringing SoundCloud back into focus, because I've got kind of the time, and I kind of re-strategized SoundCloud again. So yeah, it's good stuff. I've been Multiplier. I should tell you to probably follow me on all the platforms, but it's up to you. I just do more of this sort of stuff on all the different outlets. And yeah, feel free to hit me up, messages and comments and stuff, if you have any kind of, I don't know, responses to this, or you disagree, or you agree, or even if you just want advice. I mean, feel free to add me on. You can add my personal account on Facebook as well. Just kind of hit me up if you want it. I'm always up for talking kind of marketing theory with people, something that I quite like. And yeah, cool stuff. Nice little, how long's this video been? I bet it's been like a year. 7 minutes. Pretty concise, I think. And yeah, enjoy kind of doing shit, I guess. Sweet. Right, where's the off button gone? It's probably up here somewhere. Yeah.